Yeah, you read right. I did it. I did the unthinkable. The forbidden act. I read Genshin fanfic. How did I get this idea? I didn't think. I just did. I thought it'd be fun. But boy, did I regret it. What I read was very interesting. So if you don't know, Genshin is a very imaginative game, given that there's no really end game objective besides Abyss, but like the game is more, I guess, exploration oriented, do whatever you want, story stuff. And so with that freedom, you can do a lot with the game. Not just in the game, but outside the game as well. It has become into, I guess, sort of a culture. Not a good one, but still kind of a culture. At every anime con that you go to, you always see half the people dressed as Genshin characters. Genshin tweets are filled with very interesting pictures. And, well, yeah, all that stuff that you would expect from a game such as Genshin. And fanfic is no stranger to that. Genshin fanfic is going strong from what I've seen. And so I went on this website called Wattpad and I searched up Genshin Impact. And what I found, there were a lot of stories. Stories that are very intimate. And I was, well, as any normal human being was, interested. And I was intrigued by this. What is this so-called world of Genshin fanfic? Now, I've never read any fanfic before. I, in general, don't like to read, so why would I read fanfic? The most I would read is an artifact set, seeing if I could deal the most damage or characters' abilities. That's the only thing I would read, and even then, artifact sets are now like essays long, so I don't even read them. I just put them on because they look like they'll work and they somehow work, I guess. I don't know. With this, I mustered up my courage and I said, okay, I'll read. I'll pull out my old eyeballs and I'll use my brain to process all that information coming into my head. And boy, was that the worst mistake in my life. All the information I processed didn't help my head, it rotted it a lot. And so the first one I found was Genshin Impact Imagines, Act 1. Now, this one has nearly 1.3 million reads. That's a lot. I honestly didn't expect that much. It's like with so many stories out there, I thought, well, maybe they'll hit like 1K, 2K, 10K at the most, 100K. No, this one has 1.3 million reads. I didn't know it was that big, but you learn something new every day. Either good or bad or completely useless like this one. This is only Act 1, but the read time is 2 hours and 45 minutes. That means someone wrote 2 hours and 45 minutes worth of Genshin fanfic, and that's only Act 1. There must be an Act 2 somewhere. That's absolutely crazy. Where did they find the time to do this? For the sake of science, I made an account so I can read. This Genshin fanfic is a collection of stories. So basically, the book is filled with chapters, and each chapter is like its own mini story of other characters and you, I guess. And I chose the title that looked not too bad. I chose the one where Venti plays a song for you. And I was incredibly lucky. And this story was actually pretty fine. Venti plays a song for you, he writes a new song, and he asks for your opinion. It's not too bad. I mean, granted, of course, you are his love partner. This song is for you. It's a love song, but it's not too bad. It's just, you know, a wholesome moment. Yeah, not too bad of a start. I thought every story was gonna be, you know, stuff. And so the next story, I thought maybe I'll just bump it up a bit, just a bit. And so I chose loneliness about Kaya. You know, loneliness, it's a emotion that everybody can relate to, especially Genshin players. Because while we play Genshin, I was in for a surprise. I started reading, and immediately I noticed the wording was kind of different. Everything was super descriptive, and explaining Kaya was very, very descriptive. I went to erase it from my mind. They were overly explicit with explaining Kaya. I do know why, actually. I was gonna say I don't know why, but I do know why, because it's Genshin fanfic. But yeah, that took me by surprise. Basically, you are, you know, dating Kaya, and Kaya left because, well, he's the cavalry captain of the Knights of Avonius, and he has to go out on missions a lot. You feel very lonely, and then you start describing how lonely you feel without Kaya, and then Kaya comes back home, and then you start feeling really happy, and then this chapter explains how you're feeling happy and describes your happiness, but it's not like, you know, wholesome happiness. It's more like love happiness, and like, yeah, I think you get what I mean. I'm gonna save you the details, but if you're interested somehow, you can go read it yourself. It's on Wattpad. I mean, these are the free stories. I think there's paid stuff, but I'm not sure. I didn't go that deep. I'm not gonna pay for fanfic. My sanity is slipping away at this point. In order to save me, you should probably hit the subscribe button. That's 100% proven fact to be a cure of insanity, hitting that subscribe button and the like button. Please. But after finding that masterpiece, I decided, okay, maybe I'll go look for like a different set of stories or a story as a whole. And so I chose this story called Moralize, Genshin Impact, with about 750k reads, so pretty popular, I guess. Of course, I didn't read the whole thing, being it 7 hours and 44 minutes long, but I read a sentence. So reading the summary, it says, a famous ice skater is spontaneously reborn into Genshin Impact. Classic reincarnation isekai anime story type, but Genshin Impact, which makes sense because Genshin is an isekai story, you know, with like Traveler and all that kind of, I guess. I decided to read it. Maybe it's just a wholesome ice skating story that somehow 7 hours and 45 minutes long. And so I read the first chapter or page, and well, it's pretty normal so far. It's just a normal ice skater on Earth who plays Genshin Impact, and then they get reborn into Genshin Impact. You know, classic beginning of every plot ever in this type of genre. But I decided to dig a bit deeper and decided to skip a few chapters ahead. And boy, does this story take a dark turn. I went to chapter 50 with absolutely no context and no intention to read the context, and I was met with a warning of alcohol, abuse, violence. And immediately I just exited. I was like, I probably need context for this, so I'm just gonna not read it. And I noticed there were tags for these stories. And what I read in these tags, they're way too much. It's like someone on a YouTube video just trying to put in every hashtag there, so the algorithm somehow picks it up, but it doesn't because hashtags are kind of useless. But then I realized it's a love story. Yeah, just right of the mill. I didn't really want to torture myself anymore, so I decided, okay, I'm done. I'm done reading. And that was the best decision of my life. So pretty much my experience with Genshin fanfic was, to say the least, not that great. Maybe I'm just not their target audience, someone who actually wants to read it. I assume that they'll have a great time. They have more than 7 hours of content to read for one story, so they should be kept busy for a while. And if you're not interested, thanks for watching to the end of the video. I definitely appreciate that. It's currently raining outside and I don't know when my power is going to go out, but if this video is posted and this part is here, well, the power didn't go out, which is great. But yeah, I mean, what else did I expect from Genshin fanfic? It's pretty much just all love stories, every type of fantasy you could think of. I didn't get to the dark pits of Genshin fanfic, which I don't want to get into, but yeah, I'm not going to get into it no matter what. You can't say otherwise. But I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.